Good morning. You want to see how we completely restored this old steamer trunk? Stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday. Memphis Monday 344, our 32nd week of year 7. Today this is part 2 of our restoration of the blue steamer trunk. Last week we made the tray that goes down in there. Today we're going to finish the whole project. We're going to do the actual steamer trunk. We have to fix all the hardware. We have to line the inside. We got a lot of jobs to do, but we are going to get it done today. I guarantee it. All right, so let's knock off the chit chat and get to work. This is our project from last week. This is the tray that goes on the inside. I've got it up here putting some poly on it, and what we're going to do today, I don't think it's real dusty, so I'm just going to leave it right there. Let's go look at our trunk. So what we need to do is we need to take this handle off here, and also this latch. And these are held in with rivets, and so you got to drill them out. So let's get this trunk position on the workbench and see if we can do that. Okay, I'm taking out those rivets, and these aren't pop rivets. These are like real, like aircraft rivets. What they are is they go through the pieces you're trying to stick together like a nail, and at the end they're pinged over, and there's a little washer at the end called a burr. You put that in there and you hold your buck against it right here and you ping it over, and that's how these real rivets work. Well, to take them out, you got to grind off this burr, or grind off the ping, so that you can drive it out, and that's what we're doing now. Here's a couple of examples of this is a regular rivet. You can see how it'll go through, and then this is the burr, which is really like a little washer, and then you ping the end right here. And this is another type. This you put that through, and then it's got a little screw. These are called end cap rivets, I think, and they got a little end cap that screws on there like that. And there's other types too, but this is what we're trying to get out right now. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to drill out that ping. Now these look like brass rivets, but I think they're steel. They're brass coated. So what they did is they tacked it in place. You can see the tacks here. They tacked it in place while they were riveting it. So what we're going to try to do is lift that thing off the tacks, help us get those rivets out. I'm taking off the latch. Looks like there's 4 rivets here. Let's go around and look at the other side. There's something strange. And that something strange is the fact that there's only two. You see only two burrs here. There's a burr, and there's a burr. Now you do see a kind of a little indentation right here. That's because there's another type of rivet that they've used here that doesn't have a burr. And I have an example of one here. I don't even know if it's called a rivet or not. It might be called a split tack. But what it is it's a brass rivet that's got a slot in it. And you drive it in, and then you ping over the slot. You see that slot? They use these in boat building. Well, they actually ping over nails. You put the nail through, then you ping it over on the other side. So now we're going to figure out how to get these out of there. Well, it turns out they didn't use the split rivet like that after all. They used these tacks, brass tacks, and bent them over on the inside. Here's what the new ones look like. They're actually pretty neat. I may use them. But you just drive them in, they look like a rivet, but instead of pinging them over on the end with a burr, you just bend them over with a hammer and put your weight on the front part and then ping them over. I got one of the handles on. I'll go over how I did that in just a minute. I also put the front latch on. I wanted to go over any questions you might have, because I know I sure did. Because it looks like that, looks to me like that thing is on upside down. And I say that because normally when you have a latch, the flop down part is on top and it latches down here. But on this, there's a hole through the case, and this is the old latch. That's to provide space for this thing here. So this went right like that, and this went like that. So if it is upside down, and it sure looks upside down to me, this old one was put on upside down. Or maybe with this design, this is the way they did it. Well, the fasteners I'm using, and I'm not even calling them rivets, or these little things that look like rivets, but then they got this little end cap that screws on there like that. And that holds the handle on. My other rivets, these are too long and they got end caps. These are too long and you can nip them off, but they're the wrong color. These are copper. So this turned out to be the best choice. So that in the end, this is what the finished product looks like. Those rivets come through and then you screw that little head on them. But the way they're designed, they have to be exactly the right length, or of course they won't work. And that's the reason they come in so many different sizes. Okay, these rivets are a little bit wider in diameter than the rivets I took out. So I got to increase the size of these holes. Now what these brackets have is they have that little spike. See that spike right there? And that spike goes into another hole, a third hole that's right in the center, just like that. And your handle goes through that, and there's the spike sitting proud right there. And then this is the reason these handles, you always see these handles always broken, is because it's not easy to fix them. You have to take off the brackets completely. You know, you can't just change the handles out on this kind. Handles on, got the new lock on. So far it's looking pretty good. I put some varnish on the outside. That's the reason it's kind of shiny. Other than that, I didn't paint it or anything. Okay, now we need to line the inside. Here's a top tray we did last week, and this is the material we're going to line the inside with. Okay, to line the inside, I need that whole work table there to spread my material out, and so we need to get this trunk, which is kind of awkward, down on this cart, and I've got its legs down there. So we got to get that trunk from there to there. I'm going to film it so we have something to laugh at. It's not heavy, but it's kind of awkward. And I'm trying to grab a hold of it. Yeah, this ought to work. Well, there she is, sitting on the oak stand. Looks like I need to vacuum out in there a little bit. That's something important right there. Every one of these trunks you find, it's not going to have a key, because they lost the key. So I got both keys in this plastic bag, and I'm leaving the plastic bag inside here so I don't lose them. I've had to adapt and overcome a little bit. I don't have enough of this fabric here to completely line the inside of that box. So let me show you the plan. I'm going to put that original oak print down in the bottom, and also up in the top, up here at the top in the lid. But on the four sides, the back and the two sides in the front, I'm going to put this floral pattern in here. And it'll be somewhat symmetrical because the four sides will have this blue floral, and then the bottom and the lid and the tray will have the oak and paisleys. I think what I'm going to do here, I got this latch in the way. I think I'm just going to bring the fabric right up to here. So I think I'm going to call that about 19¼ inches. Well, since this part of the lid is going to be taking some abuse, I kind of stuck some clamps on it, kind of clamped it down. I also got some interference here with the brace. Theory is this brace is supposed to tuck behind this lining when it closes. Let's check that theory. Did the same thing on this side. Now let's see if this thing closes. piece of cake. The trunk has a rather elaborate system to hold up the top tray, and I think part of it's missing. But you see this little brass cleat right here. That top tray sits in that brass cleat right there. Let me show you its counterpart. It's got this little brass hook on the back of the tray. And I'm showing you all that because this thing came with this piece of cheap wood. It's not even sanded or covered or treated. It was just stuck on there as an afterthought right in here to hold up that top tray. Well, I think they added this thing when they did some work on it, because the original mechanism stopped working. It's long gone. So I invented something different. So the front of the tray will be held up by those cleats I showed you, and the back of the tray will be held up by this contraption here. Let's put it in, see if it fits. So this removable cleat goes in here. So the front part or the back part of the top tray will fit in those cleats I showed you, and the front part will sit on this temporary or this removable cleat. So the whole system then works like this. Then the lid closes like this. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Monday 344. We built that stand. We finished the outside of the trunk. We replaced the locking mechanism and the handles. Put a little varnish on it. Completely relined the inside and the tray. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Monday 344, week 32 of year 7. Today we finished our steamer trunk. I was just thinking, and this is only for the people that stay for the very end. Remember, a few minutes ago I told you I was saving the keys inside the trunk? Bad idea. Never, 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 even temporarily, put the keys inside the trunk. Don't do that. You'll lock them in there for sure. I don't know what I was thinking giving that advice. But anyway, that's one way to cover the inside of a trunk. You make those little panels and stick them on with adhesive. I showed you how to do that. And you really got to kind of research it and kind of figure out, if you're restoring one of these things, find out what's original and what isn't. and if it's not original, then you don't have to worry about, ripping it off and replacing it. Those little cleats to hold up the top tray, those weren't original. So I didn't feel bad about not putting them back. All right, like, favorite, share, comment, all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.